Where's Megan? Look, infinite Loraxes with poor. There's a Megan. My husband said I need to do this all day so y'all can see the tree full of trees bopping. And the tree full of trees on my back. Hi, Megan.
Hello.
Are you dressed up to celebrate Lorax Day?
Kinda.
Sporting an orange wig and a mustache?
No.
No? No mustache?
No.
And no trees?
But you do look a little different.
Just a little bit. I worn a wig every day this week. Have another one tomorrow. Okay, yeah, just a little bit blinged out. Just a bit. Okay, let's find our work. There we go. No, go away. There we go. Let's find our work in Canvas. My students that are in here, you actually can just follow along on my smartboard, okay? Who is? Mariah, have you already had your temp checks? Got to speak up in the office, or did you go to the office? I need to hear her, not my students in here talking. Did you go to the office? You need to speak up in the office. Okay, so we're going to continue with the Bill of Rights because we have 3 more to go. All right. So we're starting with Bill of Rights text source, page 2. Okay. You guys don't actually need to click on this because you can follow along with what I'm pulling up on that screen. Okay. What is it? I don't think you said to hold it. No, I don't think so.
Like half my class.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe not half, but
I've only had 3 walk in late, and that's in 2 classes.
you might have good.
Yeah, I already did. Okay, so guys, you need to pull out your booklet and turn to this page. Okay, that page right there. I'm not going to sleep. I have a severe migraine right now. Whoever's humming, stop. Okay, everybody on this page? Okay. Okay, so we did right to a speedy trial, and we did trial by jury. So where we are now is Amendment 8, punishment. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Okay, so the way that's always worded is no cruel and unusual punishments. So let's switch off of share on this and share screen on ImageMate. guarantees that a person will not be subject to cruel and unusual punishment. No more tarring and feathering people, no more pouring oil down their throats. You can't cut off a hand, which in other countries they do that. In the Middle East, if a person steals something, and it could be something small, they will cut off a person's hand because that permanently marks that individual as being a thief. It's an embarrassment to the person, and it lets every other person know when they see that person that he has stolen something. But that would be called a cruel and unusual punishment, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Hunter, you're going to have to complete all the ones that you missed yesterday. Your not so bright teacher left all of her migraine medicine at home today. All right, everybody have this? Okay. So I made a quiz we're going to take tomorrow. It has 6 questions. One is a bonus question. So it actually has 5 questions you get that are for credit. Each one's worth 2 points, so your total possible is 10 points. If you get all those right, and you get the bonus points right, you could possibly make a 12 out of 10. Everybody understands that, right? The way the quiz is set up is it gives you a situation and then asks you which amendment that goes with. So let's say, I'll give you a situation so you understand what I'm talking about. Johnny is accused of breaking the law, and when he is arrested, someone pours oil down his throat and cuts off his ear. Which amendment does that not follow? Amendment 8. Okay. Does everybody understand how to answer that question? Okay. That's how all the questions go on the quiz. Okay. So it's actually got a total of 6 questions. 5 of them are for credit. 1 is for bonus points. They're each worth 2 points. Okay. And me being the sarcastic person, what has this week all been about? Dr. Seuss. So the whole quiz is Dr. Seuss characters. Dr. Seuss meets the amendments.
Wow.
Yeah.
Watch this. Oh.
Kind of weird. Kind of weird, right? Okay. All right. Let's go to Bill of Rights again. All right, Amendment 9. The enumeration in the Constitution, in other words, the listing in the Constitution of certain rights, shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. In other words, just because there's not rights listed in the Constitution doesn't mean that those rights don't apply. People still have more rights. They can be written in later. Just because they weren't written in 1780 or whenever this was published doesn't mean they can't get them. It's kind of like we hold the ability to write in more amendments later. That's pretty much what that one's saying. Does that make sense? So guarantees that rights that are not listed in the Bill of Rights are still protected. Let me give you an example. So Logan's family, until December, he had him and 2 brothers. Okay. His mom and dad said they would protect all their children. As of December, as of November, they said they would protect all their children. And in November, that included 3 children. That did not mean now that Jolie, his baby sister's been born in December, she's not protected, because in November, his parents said, we're going to protect all our kids, and she wasn't born in November.
She was born in November.
She was? Okay, so, sorry, I'm off by a month. What it's saying is, even if it wasn't listed when these were written, it doesn't mean that it's not guaranteed. Rights can be added later on and they're still guaranteed. Just like Jolie came along later on and she's still being protected by her parents, even though her parents might have said before she's born, we're protecting all our children. And up until November, that only included 3 boys. Now it includes 3 boys and a girl. Does that make sense? You don't have to list out every single thing you have to protect everything. I don't have to tell people, don't steal and list out every single thing I own for everybody to understand, don't steal anything of mine. Make sense? You don't have to list out every single thing that you want protected. It's understood that we American citizens have rights, even if they're not listed in the Bill of Rights. Does that make it more clear? Okay, Amendment 10. Rights reserved to the states is what it should say. In your paper, cut off the word states.
All right.
That's what I'm doing. I'm writing it like really dark with my pencil. States. I'll show it to you when we go back to ImageMate. Okay. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. AKA, if the power is not given to the country and it's not prohibited to the states, then that power goes to the states. So right here, you need to write in the word states. And then any powers that are not given to the federal means national government are given to the states and its people. Aaliyah, come on in. Need to quickly copy these items. I'm absent. And you're sitting over there slowly sitting, not even getting stuff done. Come on, Hunter, get a pencil. Aaliyah, come get a pencil. You have 1 minute, Hunter. Come on, you're worrying about other stuff. You need to be working. Without turning your booklet over, which amendment would be involved in if there was a situation where a group of people thought they needed to form a militia, and in order to form a militia, they needed guns. Which amendment states people have the right to have guns? Bryson? Nope. Allie? Two. Amendment 2. All right. Last summer, there were a lot of protests. Which amendment, and the protests often involve people stating their grievances, not just with individuals, but with the government too. Which amendment said that was perfectly legal? Without looking in your notes, which amendment was that, Joanna? Which one? Nope. Nope, nope. Which amendment was it?
What was the question?
Last summer, there were a lot of protests, and some of them were protests about people and companies. Other protests involved government, grievances against the government, and them not doing anything to, or not doing enough to curb what had been happening in our society. Which amendment says that peaceful protests and grievances expressed about the government are perfectly legal? Michaela? Nope.
The first one?
First Amendment. Very First Amendment, guys. Which amendment says that nobody has to quarter my son other than his mama and his wife? Allie? Third Amendment. And good job reading the room, because that will be posted tomorrow during the quiz. That will be up in here during the quiz. It won't be up during the leap test, but it will be up during the quiz tomorrow. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I stood barefoot on the table because when I put it up, it was raining so hard outside. My husband made sure I didn't fall. I put that up Sunday when I came up. I said my migraine is terrible. Okay. Which amendment says, gotta make sure I'm saying it right, because that would stink if I mess it up for you guys. Which amendment says a police officer has to have probable cause to ask for a warrant, and there has to be a warrant for an officer to come into a person's home? Which amendment is that? Ricardo? 4. Good job. Oh. Which amendment says a person cannot be tried for the same crime twice? Kimber. No double jeopardy. That's what's called double jeopardy, when you get tried for the same thing twice. 5, very good. Truthful trees are growing. Ouch. The headband does. Hmm? Oh, not the feathers. Feathers are fine. These don't hurt. This. It's one of those smeary ones.
Yeah.
All right. Are they in a straight enough line? The feathers?
Yeah, but the feathers gonna make
Yep, that's what it's supposed to look. Much better. Okay. Did my 2 friends over at table 5 have all this copied yet? Okay, good. So the next thing we're moving to. This. Unfortunately, it copied terribly. So we're going to go to modules, and you guys again don't need to do this in class. Move into Canvas because I'll pull it up on my computer. Okay. Okay, that talking, I needed to stop. All right, just so you guys can see. Thanks. Here's what the actual document is supposed to look like. Okay, so right. My pencil's missing. Right. So how about you guys do what I'm doing and trace around these boxes so you can see them better? See how these boxes are? You see your boxes? They're not very easy to see on your paper, are they? So let's trace around these so that they become easier to see. Believe it or not, I put the copier on the darkest mode possible and copied this because on lightest mode, you couldn't see anything on the paper. All right, and then I'm going to trace these arrows because they're hard to see also. And if you want to know what they're supposed to look like, look on the screen. Okay, That way you make sure you have your arrows going the right way. Okay, so I've got all my boxes traced. You don't need to worry about the boxes down at the bottom. All you're going to need is the words in those boxes. That's all that matters down there. Okay, so all the boxes should be outlined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arrows traced. Everybody have that done?
No. Not
No. All right, everybody got it?
no.
You should have these boxes drawn by now, guys, and the arrows. We're not drawing a masterpiece here.
There's a lot.
You're tracing over, guys. Okay. So I'm going to go back to modules. We need to see the 3 source documents so we can start completing this graphic organizer. Okay. So we have 2 pages we're going to have to complete. Look. Text source 1. Well, that one too small. Come on. All right. Can't get it a nice in between size, so it's a little small. The 3 branches of government established by the Constitution. The founding fathers, who were the framers of the Constitution, wanted to form a government that did not allow one person to have too much authority or control. Why didn't they want that? Who was that like? King George. While under the rule of the British king, they learned that this could be a bad system. Yet government under the Articles of Confederation taught them there was a need for a strong centralized government. We didn't talk about the Articles of Confederation in this classroom, did we? All right, so that was a form of government that was before the Constitution. And under the Articles of Confederation, each state was really strong and each state worked independent of the other states. So let me give you an example. What if in every game of football, every player played independent of the other players? Every player had their own uniform. There was no coach. There were no rules that anybody agreed upon because everybody was trying to play their own game and everybody was trying to lead and have their own rules. It'd be chaos, wouldn't it? There would be no way of determining who was winning. There would be no organized teams. It wouldn't be much of a game, would it? So they have to organize and they have to have clear leadership, don't they? But they have to have clear leadership, don't they? You have to have a coach. You have to have uniforms so you know one team versus the other. You have to have rules that both teams play by. You have to have something that unifies them together, right? We're not getting exactly into what they do, but you have to have something that unifies them together. Yes? So does the country. The Articles of Confederation let each individual state run themselves independent, and they didn't have anything strong to lead them. And that was a problem. They learned that they needed to have a strong centralized government, a national government. Does that make sense? So the Articles of Confederation came before the Constitution. It gave them a start. It's kind of like an iPhone 1 versus our iPhone XRs and our iPhone 11s. The one was a start. It showed them what worked and what didn't. But the newer ones work a lot better. They're a lot handier, right?
They still breaking.
They do, but they've learned from the first one a lot of things they needed to fix, right?
Because they didn't do what
They found out what needed to be fixed, yes? So the Articles of Confederation gave them a small starting point, and they had to go back to the drawing board and make something new, thus the Constitution. With this in mind, the framers wrote the Constitution to provide for a separation of powers or three separate branches of government. Each has its own responsibilities, and at the same time, they work together to make the country run smoothly and to assure that the rights of citizens are not ignored or disallowed. This is done through checks and balances. A branch may use its powers to check the powers of the other two in order to maintain a balance of power among the three branches of government. So you don't want one branch becoming too strong because then the other branches aren't as strong. You need them to balance out. So they have three branches that each have their own jobs to do to balance out the other two. Everybody got it? So when they say checks and balances, it's that each part of the government has its own job. So you can't have a president that runs amok and does too much, because then you have Congress that's going to stop them and say, wait, nope, you can't do that. You also have the justice system, and the highest court in the justice system is Supreme Court. That says, wait, nope. You have to go by the laws that exist in the courts. You have to follow these court precedents. So you have the three different branches that balance each other out. Make sense? Anyone here? Okay, maybe. Okay, this has a lot of your answers to your page. Makes laws and overrides a veto. Look on that schematic. Who does it say makes laws?
Someone.
Not funny.
Um,
Try again.
let's just
Legislative makes laws. So let's look at where it says legislative. Legislative. So it's going to be in one of these boxes by legislative, and it's going to be a legislative box that's pointing away from legislative. I need you to sit down, Michaela, on your bottom. Okay. So overrides a veto. Where does it say veto? Executive. So it looks like passes laws and overrides a veto is going to be in between legislative and executive, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to switch modes. To share screen on ImageMate. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to physically write in your answer. All those words at the bottom, those boxes, that's your word bank. And then I put a check at the bottom to show that I used it. Okay. Okay, everybody got that? All right. It might help you because there are 3 sources for you to have your Canvas open. So you can toggle between source 2 and source 3. The answer's not on my face, I promise. All right. Legislative also approves presidential appointments. There are 2 senators from each state, and the number of congressmen is based on population. Executive signs laws, vetoes laws, pardons people, appoints federal judges, and is elected every 4 years. Executive is president. Judicial decides if laws are constitutional, are appointed by the president,
There are 9 justices in the Supreme Court, and they can overturn rulings by other judges. Judicial sounds like judge because that's what it deals with, judges. It is all the courts in the United States. The highest court in the judicial system is the Supreme Court. So judicial, that's the court system. Executive is led by the president. You also have the vice president there. Legislative branch is the Senate and the House of Representatives. So that's your source 2. Quite a few of your answers are going to come from source 2. If you go to next, you've got one more source that will help you do the rest of that graphic organizer. Checks and balances. The Constitution divided the government into 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. That was an important decision because it gave specific powers to each branch and set up something called checks and balances. Just like the phrase sounds, the point of checks and balances was to make sure no one branch would be able to control too much power. And it created a separation of powers. Here are some examples of how the different branches work together. The legislative branch can pass laws, but the executive branch can veto them. The executive branch can veto laws, but legislative branch can override the veto with a 2/3 vote. The executive branch nominates judges, but the legislative branch must approve them. The judicial branch can declare laws and acts by the president unconstitutional. Okay, so I gave you one of your 6 answers. I need you to find the other 5. All right, you've got 40 minutes. You need to fill out this page, and then let me show you the other page you're going to need to fill out on Canvas. So you have this page, those 5 squares to fill out. Then this page right here, checks and balances, page 2, worksheet. This page is worth 10 points, okay? All right, so you have, it doesn't have to be a complete sentence, but you do need to answer that. And then down here at the bottom, you need at least 3 answers in each column. This page is worth 10 points. Okay, so it's on Tammy. Worksheet number 2. And packet. Hunter, you need to hurry up and get into that. Get busy with this. Still have yesterday's work. That's on too.
Are we doing anything after we finish these pages?
No, that's it, those 2 pages.
Okay. Hello. What's wrong? Your neck hurt?
Yeah, I'm just. Need to be working. Need to be working. Let's do worksheet. You've done the one with the 6 things, the 6 boxes, and you've done that one online. What is it?
here. Mr. Rita's room is comfortable. My room is freezing. Whew. That screen? Oh, you don't want that screen? Y'all don't want that screen? Okay, I'll get it off that screen. He told me to get it off that screen. I got it off that screen. He told me to get it off that screen. Oops, I'm so sorry. I spoiled the fun for you and showed you the answers.
Well, I'm done with it.
Loraxes, they can be pesky that way. Yeah, I don't think they're very happy with you telling me to get it off that screen. Because I was showing y'all the answers. There you go. You told me to get off that screen, so I got it off that screen. I mean, I would hate to be helpful.
Thanks, buddy. I'm not that to help you.
Someone's Bill of Rights card is on the floor. If that word that I thought I just heard you said, I don't need to right now.
No.
I thought you said a word. Third.
Really?
Yeah. No? Okay. Because my response is always I don't need to right now. Whoa. The end of the school day cannot come fast enough. I love my students, but if I were to take my Revert, my head would be turned sideways and y'all would all become a blur. Revert is what I have to take for my migraines. It's called a ditan. Anybody ever heard of a triptan?
No.
You've heard of a triptan? I can't take triptans, so Revert is a ditan. It's the newest abortive medicine for migraines. It's $100 and something a pill. A lot cheaper than Nurtec. Nurtec's $1,000 a pill. Nurtec doesn't work for me. My migraines are expensive. Ditans work really well for me, but you can't drive for 8 hours after taking them because the world feels like it goes sideways when you take it. You can barely walk after you take it. They only work for migraines.
Did you say 2013?
Nurtec's $1,022 a pill.
How many pills are you?
8 to 9 in a package. I don't work for pay, I work for insurance. Health insurance. I get paid more in insurance. You may, we're not gonna do that one today. We're gonna work on that one tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. we're not working on that next page, that three branches of government thing, we're doing that tomorrow.
So I'm not supposed to be doing this? I don't know what I said.
Oh. Look, let me show you again the pages you're doing. The one you're doing online is, it says Thursday, not Friday. It says Thursday, checks and balances, page 2, worksheet.
That's what I'm doing.
This one. At the top, it says branches of government. Okay? You don't have this one printed out in your packet. I did print it in the copy ring, but it came out so white you couldn't see it, so I had to throw them all away. Now, this page is worth 6 points. That page is worth 10 points. Got it? 6 and 10. So everybody needs to do this online, and I will grade it right in Canny, and you'll have a score. Hopefully by the end of the day, if Canny, because my grade doesn't knock me over this evening. Oop, took it off my yellow eyebrows.
Hey,
Can't do
could you
that.
possibly change left to that?
No.
How can I change?
Show you this though.
Oh no. What did you do to her?
We played with the wigs.
Wait, what are we doing?
That's the other way.
What? But you said you like to use the wind for this. Okay, why? I have to wear it. Oh, I
She didn't like it when I put on my aqua wig. I put the green wig on her when I put on the aqua wig on me. And the green wig, the bang got in her eyes and she didn't like it. She ripped it right off. And there goes my little stubborn girl. She likes coming to grandma's house though, because we play. And apparently she broke her mama's tooth completely off out of her mouth. So Tamia's got to get an implant and she's got to wait 2 weeks without a front tooth. Gorgeous as my daughter-in-law is, she's real shy. So she's not going to work or anything because she's so embarrassed about it. She's very shy. Yeah, I know. All right. Is anybody still working on these 2 worksheets?
Yes.
All right.
Me.
Has anybody finished the paper one where I can start grading that one? Okay. If you're finished with that, bring that to me so I can start grading that. It's a Candy document I can grade tonight at home. That's not a problem. All right. What is it? Make sure you get the Cammy one done because it's worth more points than this one. After I grade this, Hunter, you're gonna have to go back and do, you don't even have these colors. My notebook. Mine. Grab it. Yes. Grab it. Brown. You need to color these. Then go back and do that one. Get all that done. I'll pull it for 20 points. You need those points. Hurry up.
How many are we supposed to do in each of the boxes?
At least 3.
Okay.
At least 3 jobs of each one. And you can also tell me who is what makes up each branch. But it's also white. I had to look at white. Thank you. Hunter, you'll probably have to get pink and magenta out of my cup that's right behind Aaliyah. Thank you. Okay. Please go get a magenta colored pencil for Hunter. Thank you.
Am I allowed to put in a brain?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Aaliyah.
Joanna. Kaylee. Bryson.
I will send you the pictures and I have finished the page on
Perfect. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow, Megan, okay?
okay, bye.
Bye.